Welcome to Mic Check Waifu Waifu.
Mic check, waifu. Tell him, is that you?
What's happening, y'all?
This is episode 241 of Mic Check Waifu. As always, it's brought to you by Patreon. Patreon.com/Mic Check Waifu to get early access to the video version of this podcast, to get access to the conversational podcast, the After Story, where we talk about whatever we want. Get access to Mic Check mangas, take talks, and etc. over there on Mic Check Waifu's Patreon. Shout out to the Patreon producers, Christian, the archivist, Rob from Dad Needs to Talk podcast, Dre, the Go G, Ked, the pro from Chaotic Culture, Explicitly, All for One Matt, Monique Williams, Nachi, Simi Sensei, Frozen, Saphir, and TMoneyFingers. Thank you so much for producing this and many other episodes of the podcast. We couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much. Telle, before we start, we like to give appreciation to those who appreciate us, and I want to start with someone who recently found our podcast. Who commented on our YouTube video that just released for the last week's episode, just released for everybody yesterday, or Saturday, because yesterday is Monday for y'all. But I digress. Shout out to Robert. Shout out to Robert Stone. He says, "Can I just say thanks to both of you for making a great show? I've been looking for an anime podcast to listen to for a while, and I could never find anyone whose taste really aligned with my own until I found you two while searching for people talking about Freerun. Listening to the last season and a half has been great, and you two have got me to try what otherwise miss. 7-time looping undead adventurer this season, for example. Unfortunately, as I'm on the other side of the pond, I can't make any live shows, but I just wanted to say thank you again for breaking down and building up all these shows each season." Robert Stone, man, thank you so much for that comment. That shit means the absolute world to us. That's just the reason why we do this, because we figured that there's a hole in this space. While this space is extremely popular now, there is a hole in this space where seasonal shows and some shows get missed and don't get talked about. And we just try to bring that to you, and we appreciate you for commenting that means the world to us. Any comments, any reviews or likes or anything like that y'all give us, they mean everything. So if you can, and if you want to support us, make sure you leave reviews, comments, and all that good stuff, likes on the YouTube videos. So live shows, as far as that concerns, we do YouTube live streams. So we haven't done any live shows yet, but when that does come, we need to get over across the pond.
For sure, bro.
And that's the dream. to go over there where Robert is and do a actual live show opposed to just the live streams. But again, once a month we do a live stream every month. At the end of the month usually. So what day is that this month?
Oh, sheesh.
Yeah, that's
the 25th. 25th.
Yeah, so next episode actually.
Yeah, there we go.
Next episode is the live show on YouTube and Twitter. I don't really have a theme for that episode yet. We'll figure it out as thing goes on. Oh, yes, we do. We just discussed it 2 seconds ago, and and I just discussed it right now. So, shout out to TMoneyFingers, one of the Patreon producers, who gave us the idea to watch an anime as one of his favorites. What we decided to do is review it next week, because what we're trying to do now with the show is we're trying to do a anime review after the midpoint season of an anime season and at the end of an anime season. So we're going to try to do at least two reviews per anime season. It doesn't necessarily have to be the show per the season. This is just a show that we missed, but we're going to do a review of a show that is considered one of TMoneyFingers' favorites. So next week on that live episode, we're going to review a show called A Place Further Than the Universe. So if you haven't watched it, you can find it on Crunchyroll or Netflix, apparently. And it's called A Place Further Than the Universe. We're going to check it out and review it next week. For those of you who aren't familiar with our reviews, they're very unique and very special. I'm going to save that for next week, but be ready for that. A whole live episode of us reviewing a show called A Place Further Than the Universe. So join us in watching that and come over to the live stream for the review for that. Thank you so much. It's going to be fun. All right, Telle. Without further ado, let's do further. How you feeling, brother?
I'm great, bro. I'm great. I was telling Polo about the Power Leveland server that I just recently set up for Power World because I've been enjoying the life out of that game. So yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, so if you have Steam, version of Power World, make sure you go to our Discord over at mycheckwaifu.com. Join the Discord, and there's a Power Leveland text channel that you can go to, and you can join that server and chill with the boys.
Have some fun. But yeah, I set that up just because I've been, like I said, really enjoying the game, and it's been a lot of fun. But bro, so I'm gonna just preface this with this. I always say I have a good week. So I have to be real when I have bad days or whatever, right? Bro, hear me out, man. Hear me out. So, Valentine's Day was this week or whatever, right?
Truth.
Day after Valentine's Day, Valentine, our dog, goes missing.
Valentine went missing on Valentine's Day?
Yes.
Oh, no.
I'm looking for her. She ain't barking. She ain't nowhere to be found. And I mean, it's like 6 a.m. in the morning. Looking for her. She ain't nowhere to be found, bro. Nowhere.
And she doesn't normally wander off too far away.
No, she doesn't. And even if she gets out the backyard, she sits on our like patio furniture or whatever. She never goes anywhere.
Right.
Let me tell you, bro. She was gone. We done in the Facebook groups sent out ring neighbors messages. We done we done went to the shelter, all kind of stuff, bro. Monique crying. I couldn't even eat because I'm like, bro, we got Valentine on Valentine's Day, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the day after Valentine's Day, we had her for 1 year and she just disappeared. Kids asking for Valentine. Where Valentine at? Where Valentine at? We all in here distraught, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like, bro, I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I was hurt. Right. I hear scratching at the door.
She pulled up.
I open the door. It's an entirely different dog, bro.
What?
This is not our dog. It's not our dog. It's just a different black dog, slightly bigger than Valentine. It's a boy, but he looked like he been out living. He got like a body harness, vest on, no name tag, and he just out there. And it's like, it looks like it's been ripped up, like he been in fights, and he just been running down the streets around the neighborhood all week.
Wow.
And I'm just like, bro, where is my fucking dog at? Where's my fucking dog at, bro?
Jesus.
So we went the whole day without Valentine. Wake up in the morning, Monique just go outside and Valentine at the door.
Oh my goodness, thank goodness.
And I'm like, little fucking
You probably Wait, how long was she missing in total?
24 hours. She came back at like maybe like 2 hours before she left.
Jesus, man.
We couldn't find her at like 6 a.m.
That's too much.
She came back at like 4. We couldn't sleep, couldn't eat. I'm telling you, like, you know how, bro. I was distraught when he cried all day. Kids, they was cool, but they just kept asking, "Where Valentine at?
Like, where she at?" Yeah.
We did not want to be there. Had to tell them Valentine went to a farm where she could run around at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And we don't lie like that. We ain't gonna never lie to our kids like that.
Yeah.
Valentine, baby. We don't know what to say. We let her out and she gone. She ain't came back. But we are so happy that she back, bro. It was like, yo, we was like asking, did anyone check microchips? Did anyone do this? Did anyone do that? We was tripping, bro.
Y'all got her chipped?
No, we didn't. But we was just calling around to see if people was like, hey, did anyone bring a dog to get microchipped to see? It's like, she look like a little Rottweiler, but she's a rat terrier. Which, let me know. Let me know if y'all seen anything, bro.
That might be a consideration now, though. It
is now, because we like, y'all, no, we got to do it now, because ain't no way. No way. We done ordered an Apple AirTag dog collar for her. Everything. It was like, yo, Valentine, you quiet and you sneaky. But we was going through it, bro. We missed her. It was crazy.
Crazy. That's a scary story. I was concerned you weren't going to y'all didn't find her or something.
Well, at least so the last time, and hear me out. I don't want to talk about it too much like on this because I don't know. But last time, so when we lived in North Carolina, we was staying in the military housing. Our dog Sandy went missing, and we found Sandy. She was in somebody's backyard in military housing. They took Sandy.
Wow.
Kept her in her backyard, and then she said, "No, she just came into my house, girl. She been there all day. I only found her because someone said that they saw you walking her earlier. You were walking her like she was your dog.
Like your dog, yeah.
You know what I mean? So when we saw that, we was mad. Valentine, she was not dirty. She didn't smell like she was outside. She ain't had no dirt in her nails. So we like, somebody had Valentine, and their parents probably came home and was like, you gotta get this dog the fuck out of here. She got a collar on. Get her out of here. And we like, yeah, somebody had Valentine. They just didn't want to let her go. And Valentine's really good with kids. She's nice with kids.
Yeah.
So it was like,
they dropped her off. They dropped her off where they found her, probably right in front of your house. Right.
And the lady across the street said that someone tried to take her dogs. Like they literally watched somebody drive down the street and try and pick up her dogs. She literally the one that gave us the dogs. It's the same thing. I was like, yeah, they out here wilding. So crazy. Now we gotta be extra strict with Valentine's. Like, that's crazy, bro. All right, that's the end of my story. This is an anime podcast, but how you doing, Polo?
I'm living the dream, man. I had a great week myself. I beat my second game this year. So my first game was Yakuza Like a Dragon, like Yakuza Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth. My second game I beat was Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. And that game is fucking incredible. That might be one of the best action JRPGs I've ever played. Honestly, like I love the Telle series. I love, I love these games, but something about that story. It's a nice short story. It kind of like goes in like you're not stupid, even though I didn't play none of the mobile gacha shit or the versus the fighter game. It has a story that they kind of just throw you into. But you pick up on it real simple because, again, I'm not an idiot like most games do. So it was a hell of a ride. I enjoyed this story. It's typical anime power of friendship story, but it was a fun one, and it has to be one of the best animated video game I've ever played. Like the shit looks mocapped. It looks crazy good.
They have some good animation, bro.
It's insane how good it is.
And it was tripping me out in the fighting game because I was like, ain't no way. Like, and I don't even think that game, the fighting game of it came out at like $60 or anything like that. I think it was like 40 or 50. And it was like the quality of it was crazy. So yeah, I imagine that the actual fully expansive, like that was probably crazy on the animation.
Nuts, man, nuts. So I'm playing through the end game of it because there's more game to play. Like it's so much game to play and shit you could do in the game. So I'm enjoying that right now, but I got to go to Persona 3 Reload here soon and hopefully beat that before Final Fantasy Rebirth come out. So I got a lot going on when it comes to the video game side of things. But other than that, I'm doing good. But this is an anime podcast brought to you every Tuesday at 9:30 a.m. CT. We're here to talk about anime. This is going to be an interesting week because I put out something on Twitter and in our Discord, but I deleted them both. The reason why I deleted them both because I know people don't really like to necessarily give their unpopular opinions, but I think I have an unpopular opinion. Mostly probably with Undead Unluck. I'm ready to drop the show. I'm ready to fucking drop Undead Unluck, especially after this most recent episode. I can't believe this shit is as beloved. Now, let me just preface this by saying I know I'm the one who usually goes against what everybody else likes, but I always have reasoning behind my takes, right? There's always a reason why my takes are as what they are, okay? So I'm going to try to clarify this take as best as I possibly can. Again, I know my tastes don't align with y'all's, and that's okay. It is okay to have different opinions from the consensus. And I'm not trying to be a contrarian or go against the grain or whatever the fuck people be actually doing. I'm just stating my feeling when I watch the show in particular. So there's going to be slight spoilers for Undead Unluck, but who really cares? The most recent episode of Undead Unluck was, I think, 19 or something like that. And it was about this. They came to this. It was building up to. They had this big betrayal, right? Big betrayal. Everything is going crazy. It's like, oh shit, what the hell are we gonna do? Then they talk about this book being the fucking like this prediction Bible thing created by another person, and the book happens to be a fucking manga that was based in the first episode. And when I tell you that shit was so fucking corny that it completely threw off any semi like of the show that I had gone. It's any attention to. Well, most of it was already terrible for me to begin with, so I'm not gonna. But this particular part is what got me ready to just turn this shit off and never watch it again. You know what I'm saying? There's absolutely no reason for the story to be as dumb as it is. And that part really solidified it for me. And I know most people watch this for the hands, I guess, but I don't think they even throw enough of that to even warrant this stupid story. God, it's so fucking dumb.
Hear me out.
It's so dumb.
I 100% think this is like the worst episode I watched this week. And it was really just because it was boring, and it could be because I know how things are supposed to play out. It could be that, but no, this episode was boring. I didn't have the slightest bit of anything from this. I didn't even feel like, and like I said, this could be because I know what the story is, that I have no interest in this story development and how they delivered it at all. I felt like they definitely could have done it better. Like the episode I would have talked about as my episode of the week, like they could have done so much better and I guess developing that conversation. And I even feel like reading the manga, it was like, okay, whatever. It was very passable and almost blasé.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks. But
it's dumb, but I just had to get that off my chest before we get into it. But Tell, what was your episode of the week this week?
My inner meathead was talking to me this week with Solo Leveling.
Great choice.
Yeah, that shit was crazy. And I knew it was coming, but I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was it. I needed that. That was
real
great.
good. Real good. Shout out to another one of our Patreon producers, Gold D Dre, a.k.a. Dre the Goat G. He mentioned that he might have to go check out, I think that was Gold D Dre. But he might have to go check out some of the manga because he felt like something was missing. But even if it was still well done to me. Like I liked it a lot. Maybe we'll talk about that in the spoiler talk. But in my episode of the week this week, and I know we try to say we don't want to go back to previous seasons for episode of the week, but it has to be Apothecary Diaries. That episode was nuts. We're definitely going to talk about that in spoiler talk too. Because wow. Wow. So
hear me out.
Yeah, that's going to be in the spoiler talk. So if you're not watching Apothecary Diaries, please turn it on. What an incredible show.
That was a sick episode, bro.
Yeah, a lot of great episodes this week. You watched the first 2 episodes of Fluffy Paradise. I wish you watched more. I'm sorry. It's hard to talk about it now because this most recent episode was so fire. and I wish you would have caught up to it. But what do you think about so far with the first two down?
The first episode, I'm thinking Spy Family, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I'm feeling. I'm feeling Spy Family.
I get that.
But I kind of feel like, and it could be because Anya, she did get a little irritating towards like the middle towards endish of that like this doesn't feel that way.
Well, she's grown though. That's probably why.
She's grown 100%. And that is it. That's 100% it. It's because she's not making stupid childish decisions.
Exactly.
She's more like trying to rectify stupid childish decisions.
Yes, yes. Well said.
I enjoy it. It's very chill, very wholesome, but it also looks phenomenal. Mm-hmm. Like I was very surprised at the actual look of it because I'm thinking, oh, this is just gonna be that soft, like very pretty look. The dragons, they don't look soft. They don't act or soft fluffy. Either.
Yeah, right.
But right, or fluffy. But I enjoy it, bro. I will be caught up next week alongside the review stuff, so I'll be happy to talk about that next.
You are gonna love this show. I know you're gonna love it. It has all the omnipotent types of things in it. It just feels so good. It's a good show. It's a good show. So same thing with The Weakest Tamer as well. Embarked on a journey to pick up trash, or whatever it's called. Great show. Another great show that's well worth watching. All right. So last week we got a recommendation from our boy Rob J, who's with Inside the Mind of a Blurred, as well as Shogo High, who told us to check out this new anime that came out recently called Ninja Kamui. It's a Adult Swim original anime. It's on Adult Swim, and then the day after it airs on Max. The first 2 episodes are out. I'm gonna ask Telle, what did you think about that show so far?
It gives me it's the quality, right? First impressions, it gives me like cyberpunk kind of vibes with the quality that you get right off the bat, but it does have that like classic, almost like Toonami Cowboy Bebop look aesthetic to it. But hear me out. As visually compelling as it is, I don't feel a lot for the story yet. I'm waiting for it to develop. I can see it being there. I just feel like they ain't told us nothing about the story yet. We don't even really know much about our main character yet in 40 minutes of anime. But it's a very beautiful show.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about spoilers for the first 2 episodes, by the way, y'all. So just letting him finish his thoughts first.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful show. Sound design is on point. I did do the dub. I don't know if you did the sub. The sub sound cool for the first few minutes. I did test like the first like 3 minutes of the sub. It did sound good. Dub though was on point. Sound design on point. I think that the characters have pretty solid characterization so far. I just would hate if the plot is. I think I'm gonna say that part for spoilers, so we really kind of get into the spoilers. But it's a very, I feel unassuming with it so far. Like I feel like it's a very straightforward. We're gonna see plenty of hands thrown in the most elegantly well choreographed way that we have seen in very few shows like this. Mm-hmm. So that's exciting. It definitely has that they pay a lot of attention to detail in how the fight is set up. So that's really good. What are your thoughts, Polo?
I think this goes into what I talked about at the beginning of the show with the unpopular opinion. I think this show's garbage so far, absolute garbage. And I know a lot of people talking about it. Shout out to Go Dre, one of the Patreon producers, and Rob J and Dad Needs to Talk podcast. They're all talking about how fire it is. It's absolutely. You talk about the story being unassuming. There is no story. It's so nothing there yet. Like, we just watched it for the action, and that's what everybody's calling gas. That's not enough. That is absolutely not enough, because the story, while it is so far it's a revenge tale and somebody trying to get revenge on the people who obviously killed his family. Again, spoilers. I do think the dialogue is actually garbage. Like, when lines are being delivered, it sounds fine. The dub voice actors are doing good with what they got, but they don't have much to work with, it seems like. I think the script is garbage. Like, I think this show is bad so far. Like, actually bad. And me and Telle don't talk about this, by the way, before we talking on the show.
I wanted to leave that part to you. Because hear me out, it's not that I'm not even going to say that it is bad right now. 100%. All the story, the plot, the direction, pacing, all of that right now is out the window.
Yeah, it's nothing there.
World building out the window. It's literally just hands, good animation, and sound design. And
to speak on the hands for me personally, I think the hands were cool in the first episode. The hands in the second episode were garbage because it just I know it's supposed to be supernatural, and I gotta suspend my I gotta set up a disbelief with it. But the fucking shit that he's doing is dumb. Like, I think it's corny. I think it's super corny to do this jutsu and get 3 more arms or whatever the fuck it was.
Hear me out. It wouldn't be corny, bro. It's not corny, and it wouldn't be corny if they provided the context and story for it. You feel me?
That might be right. That might be true.
Because people run around fireball jutsu all the time, constantly. Sure. Still, almighty push and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Because we know the story and context behind it. We know
the rules that's been set up. Yeah, and maybe that's coming later. I assume that's coming later. We're obviously going to keep watching this, but I'm gonna just tell y'all now, for it to be as gassed up, and I'm gonna talk.
It's got 82% on here.
Yeah, for it to be as gassed up as it is, I got a feeling y'all gonna be disappointed by the end of it. I'm speaking it from experience, because me and Telle knows very, very well how we like to sometimes overhype things, and for that thing to end up terrible. I.e. Kingdoms of Ruin, i.e. Platinum End. These are shows that we talked about, and this is recorded, it's proven, it's documented, that we talked about being great at the beginning and then end up being trash. But in this particular case, I can see all the signs of this being garbage. But and maybe this is just because this is a anime original and there's like no manga, no written material, is why the script is so bad. I'm hoping it takes a turn, and I don't mind being wrong. I don't mind telling y'all, like, listen, I was wrong. This show is fucking fire. The story is actually gas. All right. I will be okay with telling y'all that if that's the case. But in my opinion, this shit is booty to me, man. I'm watching it and I'm like, yo, this shit is, like, I watched the beginning of it, very predictable. Obviously, he's enjoying his time with his family. That was cool to see. His wife seemed like a dope wife. His son seems like a dope kid, per usual, the happy-go-lucky family. And then it goes into what was very predictable from the jump. Even if you didn't know it was a revenge tale, it still would have been predicted because of what they did at the very beginning with some no-name guy that they killed. Like, if they didn't show that and maybe started off with the family, it would have been cooler. Or even show the wife fighting back or something. Like, if they would have gave me something more, I think it could have interested me more. But right now, and then the whole story about this organization, they try to slip in a detail in the second episode. The organization is now releasing more details about their ninja way, and it's spreading all across the country. And that's the smallest amount of detail about the world rules that we got so far. And if they plan on tricking it out like that, it's going to be a long 13 episodes or 12 episodes.
And I do want to touch on something you said, right? About it being like an anime original, like anime only. There's no previous adaptation.
Mm-hmm. You can feel it.
We got Cowboy Bebop.
True.
Neon Genesis Evangelion. Madoka Magica, which I know you didn't watch. Gurren Lagann. We got Code Geass. Samurai Champloo, Kill Kill, Angel Beats, Fully Cooley.
Well, Angel Beats was a visual novel.
A visual novel, yeah. But then we got like Psychopaths.
And those are great. So I guess that's no excuse.
Yes. And I say that only because when you said it, I'm thinking there's gotta be others that had compelling stories. Come on, Psychopaths. It had the story the whole time. Samurai Champloo, Cowboy Bebop.
Incredible.
It's so hard to
justify, huh? You're right.
Yeah, it's hard to try and give it a pass, and it's not to like smack down what you said, but it's like, nah, bro, they can definitely have made this opening better. Not even like, and it's not even necessarily that it was a bad opening. That first episode would have been fire if the second episode would have gave us some pretense in a sense. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Like gave us what the whole purpose fully in that was, because they did give us some context,
very small,
but like that was it. That was it. There was no true development in any of these first two episodes, and I get it. There's more time. There's more to come. But yeah, nah, I'm not feeling the lack of data or information that they provide, bro.
So let me put it in perspective for you. If it would have just been the first episode we were discussing today, I would have said this show looks phenomenal. It looks great. We don't got much story yet, but maybe that's what they're building up to in the second episode to give us, right? But the show looks great, and I'm looking forward to watching it more. Then they decided to give us more story with Mike Morris and like the kind of his overarching goal so far, while being very, very, very skim on the details, which is again probably intentional because the character the character knows shit ton more than we do, like who he worked for, what he did, et cetera,
which makes it hard to be drip fed information.
Exactly, which makes it harder for us to be drip fed information. Again, I'm looking at this from an objective view of more than just hands. I don't give a fuck about how good your animation is. I don't give a fuck about how good the fights are choreographed. I want something compelling to watch, not just visually aesthetically pleasing. That's just me personally. That's always been me ever since I've watched Clannad, because before Clannad I was all about this shit. I was like, yo, give me them fucking hands, and that's all I care about, until I got something with story, and then I'm like, yo, this is what I need. Now this is what anime can be. I want more of this shit. What's up?
I'm only laughing at what you said, like ever since you watched Clannad. I need y'all to understand that Polo lied with that Clannad statement, saying that he needed more story ever since Clannad. Because Polo, y'all don't know this, it's a little bit of history with Polo and Telle. Polo was the first person I ever met that played Pikmin.
That's right. That's true.
And that at the time was probably the most wholesome game I've ever played in my life. Mm-hmm. And it was Polo. It was Polo.
Yeah, but there's also wasn't any. It was no story for it.
I mean, there kind of was. It's not a ton, but it was. There was a lot there. It
wasn't just hands. Yeah,
world building. You know that's what I mean. Like there's a lot to assume there. So what I'm saying is that Polo always been this way. Clannad just showed him the way for anime specifically.
That's true.
But I do want to say that he's 100% right on this though. 100%. There had this been just the first episode, it would have been so much easier to look at this with like starry eyes and like optimism. But for 2 episodes and for a total of 20 seconds of actual lore and world building between the two is insane. Like, and think about this. This is contextually how you know they didn't build shit. I'm gonna tell you exactly how we know. Before his family died and their life flashed before their eyes, they just showed the same stuff that we saw
already
before this.
Yeah.
That's not good. We didn't even have a reason for that to matter. That
is part of my reason why I'm saying, okay, this is mostly me foreshadowing, right? Because I don't know how it's gonna be, right? Like I don't know if it's, again, it could turn out great, and I would love to be wrong. I would love for everybody to scream, Polo, you were wrong. This fucking show is amazing. Look at how the story turned out. It's great. And I'll be like, you're absolutely right. It is great. But in my experience, in my almost 6 years of doing this, these don't turn out good from personal experience, and it's probably not going to turn out good. But they're gonna throw a lot of hands, and it's gonna look pretty, I promise. So if you're into that, so if you're into hands being thrown and pretty animations, you will love this show. And I'm not yucking anybody's yum, but I am going to tell you from our perspective, because that's how we do. We tell you from our perspective what we think of shows that are out there in the verse. And if you disagree with it, that's perfectly fine too. If you love it, I love you for loving it. Yeah. You know.
I don't think most people specifically tune into us because we just gonna love the meathead stuff, because we do.
Yeah, 100%.
We here for the meathead stuff.
100%.
So here for the story to go alongside it. You know what I mean? That's all we here for.
Solo Leveling is a perfect example.
We expect a little bit more. Mm-hmm. And you should too. That's why you came here.
So while again, man, it's something about it. I'm gonna go back to the second episode. It was when he called Mike Morris, and I'm like, okay, we finally about to get some lore. And then they start talking, and then this entire time that they in this Chinese restaurant, no conversations is had. Like Mike Morris just says, get on the ground for 15 fucking minutes, it feels like, and no story is developed whatsoever at all.
But let's add to that. What was the whole reason for him to even go?
To get information.
What did he do at the bar?
Nothing. Give nothing.
Beat some police officer up, beat one without punching him in the face. He goes outside, gets back on his motorcycle. He ain't talked to nobody. The whole time. He get back on his motorcycle, look at the police car and say, I'm gonna call Mike Morris. You came to the bar to progress a story where you could have just said, I'm gonna call Mike Morris. You could have just skipped that whole 2.5 minutes.
Because it wouldn't have been enough action in the episode if they would have did it that way. You know what I'm saying? And that's what none of this shit makes sense, okay? But him considering to call Mike Morris is a good idea, because maybe Mike Morris has information that he doesn't. Or Mike Morris have access to databases that he doesn't. So it's smart for him to call Mike Morris. It's smart for him to meet up with Mike Morris. But when he do call Mike Morris and he do meet up with Mike Morris, they get into the Chinese restaurant and don't have a fucking conversation about shit. If Mike Morris was smart, he would ask him, hey, what is going on here? If you tell me who you are, I can give you any information I have and we can help each other. Instead of having those conversations, the first thing they do is him try to arrest him and then him get into this fight with the other ninja. That's it.
So I want to ask this because I feel like it's a lot of contradictory stuff here, right?
100%.
So we're looking at, yes, it was a good idea to call Mike Morris.
100%.
Why? Because he's calling Mike Morris to get details he don't know. Just hear me out. This is a ninja in a present time, right? A relatively present time, might be more futuristic time. They have capabilities to change their face electronically. And the person who was able to program to change his face, he ain't able to hack computers and tell you who's looking at you. They're not able to have any kind of other surveillance. To me, that feels more sloppy that he would have to call Mike Morris when he has a whole electronics engineer and cyber creator he was just talking to when he was cutting bro up.
I would disagree with that. I get where you're coming from, but I think his purpose was to obviously remain off the grid. And the guy was a doctor. He wasn't necessarily that much of a tech wizard. He's just a doctor. He's a doctor. So he wouldn't be the guy you would talk to, I think, for that in particular.
But programming holograms, I feel like is pretty extensive.
I think he got him. I think when they talked about it, it was insinuated that he got him that tech. He didn't make it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool. So I can understand that.
Yeah, and that's I get exactly what you're saying, because I almost thought about it too. I'm like, but what if he knows somebody like the doctor that has that tech? When you were talking, I'm like, maybe he has somebody like that where he could just reach out instead.
Yeah. And I'm only saying that because to me, I'm like, who's chasing you already. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, what your transgression was. You had the whole flashback for what happened, right?
Sure, yeah.
Oh, we don't want to follow these new ideals that were put into place, and the shogun said, or whoever said, if you don't follow these, you're gonna be
exterminated. Yep.
Right. Boom. You know who's after you. You just don't know who's specifically after you. So it's like,
which was again a good reason why you would call Mike Morris, because Mike Morris has been investigating these other cases, and maybe he has more information that our guy doesn't. So that part totally makes sense. The problem is when they met up, nothing was accomplished.
Nothing happened.
Zero progression made. It was so fucking stupid. I'm like, okay, you got 12 episodes to tell a story that seemed like you need more time, because
if they're doing it
if they're doing it this way, because you only got 12 episodes. So again, if it's just about the hands, and if we just watching it for the hands, cool, it looks great. This show is probably, in a gut check for Polo and a foreshadowing for this show, it's probably going to be terrible, but I am willing to be wrong. I would love to be wrong.
I'm gonna be the contrarian and say it's gonna be like a 8.9 out of 10.
Oh, I hope so.
By the time we get to episode 9.
Ooh, I love that. I love that.
I hope so too. I hope it takes off.
And I'm so quick to tell you, listen, I was wrong. Like for example, Dr. Stone. I love Dr. Stone. I wasn't wrong about Dr. Stone. Season 2 still fucking stinks. And like most of season 1 and season 2 still stinks. But the rest of the show is good. Like it completely did a heel turn. But I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all, man. Sometimes I don't see what y'all see. And the way y'all break it down, I'm like, I get it's a revenge tale about a guy who's avenging his his son and his wife. Cool. But when you watch it, is that really all we're gonna get? Like, it's just going to be that? Which again, if it is, okay, that's fine. And I know the show isn't for me, but I guess this is why this episode is titled Unpopular Opinion. Because everybody loves it, and I, on the other hand, do not. Until you were, I feel like you were leaning towards not, but you did want to say.
Oh no, I don't think this is gonna be good. But I'm saying I want it to be good because I only hope so, bro. I sincerely don't want to watch something that's gonna be bad all the way through. So yeah. I hope that it's gonna be good. Also, I wanted to let you know, when you brought up the undead unluck topic, I named that part Unpopular Opinion.
Unpopular Opinion. Yeah,
but hear me out, bro. I agree with you, but I don't want it to be bad. So I hope that it is sincerely. I hope it takes off. I really do.
Me too. To wrap up this topic, though, Telle, do you have any unpopular opinions for this season? I know you're not really on the internet as much, or neither of us really are on the internet as much. But what's an unpopular opinion you have of this season so far?
Slice of life runs this season.
Yes, talk to him. And that is, as funny as that is, that's like, you're right. What else is it? Right? Like, Solo Leveling is there. Fantastic. But that's it. That's really it.
Yeah.
I got one. Ragnar Crimson is better than Shangri-La Frontier.
I would give it that. And yeah. I would.
Much more compelling story. Better pacing. I feel like I've been watching Shangri-La for 50 episodes and we've been in the same spot for 49 of it. Like, it drives me crazy.
And I would even
dude, they didn't get you nowhere this episode, bro. Nowhere.
Yeah, bro, hear me out. And Shangri-La Frontier, not to continue
beat a dead horse.
Yeah, not to continue to jump on top of the problems with certain anime, but Shangri-La Frontier, it's like I said, I watched some episodes and I'm just like in awe, like, man, this could be so good. I feel it in my heart. Like, it's just minor tweaks that could change everything about this. It feels like it doesn't even have to be a huge like paradigm shift.
I can see that.
Even our main character, if they could just tweak tiny things about him, and the whole show would just take on a whole nother persona.
Yeah.
It's like Shangri-La Frontier itself, if you just took the core of it, it could be fire. It could be fire. Just the other stuff around the core changed. Like if they gave us a Shangri-La Frontier game and you were the main character, it'd probably be fire. It'd probably be like, yeah, I love this. But I don't want that main character, and I kind of don't even want his friends.
Yeah, I agree. The best idea that the show has is the world progression quest, and this is the first time since episode the Like a Gone episode. Mm-hmm. This is the first time since that episode that we've gotten any inkling of what that is or could be. But that is the best part. That is the best MMO-ish part of this entire show, is the world quest progression. And we don't know anything about it. And hopefully it gets better. But again, it's so fucking annoying getting 12 minutes of an episode. This might as well be considered a short. Like each episode is a short because we get 12 minutes per week because of this theater bullshit. So I'm tired of it.
Yeah, they need to go ahead and mix that up out of there too.
100%.
I don't know why we're even still doing that.
Before we move on to, I want to give a quick shout out to All for One Matt, because he gave us his episodes of the week this week, and I want to share that.
What's that?
So as soon as I can find it, because I'm a doofus, I think I retweeted it, right? Yeah. So he said, All for One Matt, one of the Patreon producers, he says, my episode of the week this week is a tie between Classroom of the Elite and bottom tier character Tomozaki. Between those two shows, those are probably, outside of 7 Time Loop, I think those are the best like sequel seasons. I know this Classroom Elite is the third, but these are the best sequel seasons since, like, they're great. They're so great that I just wish we got more.
What Classroom Elite is doing so well is creating that sense of you don't exactly know.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You don't really know, and they build up this like so, and it's so funny, right? Because they've always been kind of building up relationships in the background, but now this specific season has seemed like it's all about the relationships specifically.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, who do you want expelled? Oh, who are you helping? Who are you on team? Oh, who do you like? And it's like, it's crazy, because the beginning, it was kind of a little bit of those things, not like a lot.
No, because everybody had to get to know each other first,
right? And it was more focused on the centralized building of an individual, right? Yep. The individuals are trying to build,
and not only that, but the rules of the school as well. That's very important.
And the rules of school have changed with the semesters and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So yes, it's like, oh, we have to take midterms. And it's like, now it's all team building. It's all team basis. The whole team has to do these things. And now it's like the whole team has to do well, or somebody gets kicked out, or everybody got somebody's getting kicked out. And it's like, they're trying to, and I'm just not trying. They're going to flip that on its head, where it's like, they built this cohesion, and now they have to kind of throw that monkey wrench in to make people just trust each other.
Absolutely
this show
spectacular.
Does a great job. They do a great job, bro.
It's spectacular. And to go on to bottom tier character, what they're doing in this particular show is very similar to Classroom of the Elite, because what bottom tier does is it builds up, again, first season builds up relationships, or builds up Tomozaki to become somebody who can start building up relationships. Now, second season, these relationships are coming together, and it's about everybody around Tomozaki and how he handles their situations. And their situations is leading to something that can, I'm not going to say, well, I can't say this at least, that can spark some possible romance within the dynamic of this classroom. And this classroom is so broad and so wide open that it seems like about 3-4 people have different objectives and goals that you are very interested in, but you don't know yet, because everything is seen from Tomozaki's eyes. But he's taking what he's learning from Aoi or Aoi, and kind of like seeing how she manipulates, or seeing how other people move and manipulate stuff, and he's learning from it, and he's starting to realize what this game of life is. And it's a very, very, very special show.
And just throw one more on there. One more.
Yeah, please do.
And I feel like you're going to rock with me on this one. Because we did say Slice of Life is running this season. The Danger's in My Heart, bro.
Top 5 Slice of Life.
I just need you to know, Yamada is mine. Oh my God,
that was the clean line.
This show has gotten so much better since that first season. In the first season, I'm not saying like the first season was bad or anything.
It was like the first 3.
Yeah, we just had to get past that awkward hump. But then it's like this season has been so progressive in the sense of like, yo.
Yep.
This ain't the little specifically challenge. Like it's still kids, right? But they out here working like they know what they want and they trying to figure out what they want. I'm like, yeah, the Danger's in My Heart. I appreciate you putting me on this one, Polo.
One of the best character developments. Both bottom tier character and Danger's in My Heart has both some of the best character development in any slice of life ever. So I truly believe that I think I can do a top 5 slice of life list and probably feel good about it. Honestly. So maybe we'll do that one day because that'll be fun. All right. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to spoil a couple of shows. One of them being Apothecary Diaries.
Okay.
What would you say the other one was going to be?
Let's say, okay, Apothecary Diaries. I think we should do Solo Leveling.
I agree with that.
And you want to do 7 Time Loop?
Yeah. That or Free Run. Which had another great episode.
I'm cool with whatever. I feel like I don't know, bro.
I know.
Because I kind of feel like we can let Free Run breathe on this one because it was a good episode.
Yeah, okay. 7 Time Loop then. 7 Time Loop it is. I'm with that. Because you're right, because that sets us up for probably next week being juicy.
Yeah, because I like I said, it's not to say like it wasn't a great episode.
It was a fantastic episode.
I just feel like we can let it breathe because it does feel like you said next week's going to be, because there was some really good stuff that happened in Free Run with how they set up the world and dungeons and stuff.
Yep.
Oh then, my God. Now I'm talking about it. Like, all right.
And then the fact, yeah. We'll be right back after these. And welcome Black to episode 241 of Mic Check Waifu Waifu. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Mic Check Waifu. Now, pregnant pause. Let's get to the spoiler talk of the episode. We're going to start off with Apothecary Diaries because I think this week Apothecary Diaries episode might have been on top of Solo Leveling, which we will spoil right after. But when it comes to I guess in terms of effectiveness story wise, I think Apothecary Diaries had the stronger effect. Massive fucking episode because of things that we had. To put it in perspective, we're talking about episode 19, by the way, for those of you who are unawares. Episode 19 of Apothecary Diaries. This episode was crazy. Yeah, it was a lot. Starting off with shout out to that guard guy who decided to give us the information we needed to for her so she can investigate further into what's going on between these coincidences of the warehouse fire and all these people getting poisoned at this particular time and crazy shit, man. When that brought all of this together, I'm like, man, this fucking story is so good.
Also, shout out to that guard guy who almost got himself and all the other guards beheaded because he's a arsehole.
He's probably going to get beheaded.
Oh my God, bro. This episode was something else, bro. And what they did so well and what they have continued to do is that this episode was not like a first off thing, right?
Right.
Her whole purpose in being there, essentially to begin with, was like not her whole purpose, but they essentially understand that she's good with poisons. She's good at understanding them, how they break down. She's good at breaking down the situations that these things happen in. And she's not like by any means like she's a strategist in every sense of the word. Even in this episode, it shows a lot of that with even her getting hit by the guard stuff, bro.
Yeah. I think strategist might be the wrong word. I think more of a investigative fucking Sherlock Holmes type character.
Yeah, but I'm saying strategist in the sense of like she knew she had to get in the room. So what she did was she had to emotionally manipulate the situation.
Which she felt though.
Well, she got dude mad enough to hit her, which got him calm enough to where she could say something to him to break through to his mental capacity and get to where she was trying to get to.
Which didn't work.
Right. It's crazy because like you're right though, it didn't. But the beauty of this show is exactly what you said to begin with, was that it had a hellified impact.
Yes.
Because we know our MC, we know the MC, and it's funny because yes, we know the MC, but some of the characters in the show don't know the MC. So it's like they don't get to see the fact that we know that she's doing this for good. She's doing this for the right reasons, and it makes sense on both sides as to why things are playing out this way.
Yep.
But to see it play out this way is something else. Now, how did the well, I don't know. I don't want to skip over too much. Did you have anything else you wanted to go before I start jumping to like other stuff? Yeah,
like I said, I mean, the culmination of everything leading up to this point, like all the prior investigations that she was involved in, that then she was able to put together to lead to the fact that it was all for this particular ceremony.
Exactly.
Everything that happened, including the poisons of those other people, including the situation with the fire in the warehouse. All of that was to lead us specifically to this point. Now, this particular point was caused by who I guess she don't want to speak on conjecture, but was caused by somebody who she think is responsible, which is, the other court, Curtison, which is the chick who has the farm. And she did mention something very ominous 2 episodes ago when they met up. I think it was 2 episodes ago. It might have been the episode before this one when they met up at the herb garden. And she said, this is all for a particular reason or some shit like that. if I remember correctly. And that
was an episode or two ago. So it's in between.
Yeah. So with that, it's like, this is fucking massive, man. And I love the way they did it, the way they told this arc and brought it all together into this point. The fact that Jinsen is there, Master Jishin or whatever the fuck his name is, the fact that he was there during the ceremony was what makes this even crazier, because now there's other implications on top of what has happened on why they exactly would want to do something to him in particular. So it would explain why she wasn't all googly eyed for him when everybody else was. Like, it's just so many foreshadowing points that lead to this show just being so great when it comes to the storytelling, and I just can't help but to gush over it. It's fantastic. It's perfect. Now, to go to where you were going.
And, well, yeah. So, in what you said, basically, because you gave me this thought to continue with, but they also prefaced the idea and continued to build in like little details with her dad, her father. And then they gave us recently in the last like 1 or 2 episodes more about knowing who her father is, but trying not to necessarily. She may have already figured it out, but no one said anything to anybody specifically about it yet. And it's like, bro, we talk about ley lines all the time. Lay them down. They land them lines, and it's beautiful because all of that is so important, and they don't tell you when it's going to be relevant. They don't tell you when it's going to be important. It just happens to come at that moment when all the culmination comes. But then you get to the point to where, like I said, she's hurt very badly, losing consciousness. And how do you feel about this? The moment when the music hits, even before that, how's that making you feel?
Well, which in particular, after she got hit in?
So after she got hit in the face, and then the fully collapsing part and being carried out.
Oh, by the Master Jinsen,
yeah. Walking past everyone's head bowing,
which makes me think: is he the Emperor's brother?
But he.
Huh?
Go ahead.
I think this is just a kind of a slight gut check, but I think he's the Emperor's brother who they switched out for the other baby that died. Because you remember,
right? Mm-hmm. We did talk about that.
Yeah, you remember that when they mentioned that her father was kicked out because they let the Emperor's brother die or some shit like that. Right. I think he's the actual Emperor's brother, but he was being secretly held within the court for a particular reason, and that's what the ceremony was about. So that's why they were bowing, and him carrying her out might lead to some very big implications on what's about to happen going forward. Because this shit's intense. Go ahead.
And then they walk past, what's his name? Rakan. As in, like, that, it's a very obvious demonstration of why they're walking past him, right?
And Rakan is the guy with the monocle, right?
Yes. But then they walk past him, and he's got this, like, not a grin. He's, like, grimacing, like, he's upset.
Like, oh, shit.
Yeah, he's, like almost like he wants to hurt somebody for what he's seeing. No,
I disagree.
You don't think it was that?
No, but not at all. Because I think it's the fact that he saw that it was Jinsen in the ceremony and realized that he's been fucking around with the Emperor's brother. So he's like, fuck, I actually fucked up here type shit. Yeah. Because he looked shocked at the fact that he didn't know that who he actually was. And that was my interpretations of that. I could be wrong.
Well, and I'm only saying that because we have and I'm not sure, but I feel like they tried to plant that seed that Rakan is her dad.
Yeah,
you know,
100. That's
right.
That's proven because
obvious, right? Cool.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure. So I figure, that's why he's so interested in her, obviously.
Which he knows that. The thing is he still didn't have that smirk until he saw Jinsen come out with her in his arms. Yeah. Because I don't think he was necessarily shocked at the fact that she was hurt, right? I think
it's not specifically that.
Yeah, I think it was just the fact that she came out by his arms, knowing that what that ceremony was probably about, that he's like, oh shit, I've been fucking trying to play games with this guy. He's fucking leagues above who I actually am. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
He's
not just a eunuch.
Exactly. He's him. So that's why I believe it was a much different reaction from that. But it's crazy to think that he was the reason why she got in there and she fucking hated his guts. I did take a screenshot of when last episode when she made that face to Jameson about the guy wanting to meet her, and she made this fucking face that was demonic. He's like, I never want to see that face again. I took a screenshot of that face and it was fucking intimidating.
Well,
because it was a quick flash, like it was like a subliminal flash, and it was scary. It was fucking scary. It was so dope the way they did it too. Man,
you saving up your screensaver?
No, I can't because you can't. I just took a picture of my phone with it. Yeah, so I just took a picture of my phone with it, so it looks stupid. But I really do need to find out and set it as my screensaver because that shit was fire.
Apothecary Diaries is crazy.
This is one of the best shows. Again, man, if it didn't come out the same time Freerun did, possible anime of the year. We're still waiting for
86, bro. Since 86,
100%. And since I'm waiting for like Freerun to be done before we give our official stamp of anime of the year, this could have been it, man. Easily. I mean, so good.
Hear me out. I ain't even gonna discount it. It still could be. And I'm not saying Freerun. It's hear me out. For us, I think Freerun is definitely more our speed. It's more our speed 100% because it has all of it. It has like so much in it. Whereas this still has so much in it. You know what I mean? It still has so much in it. I just feel like Freerun being the fantasy genre in that setting makes it hard. It's like we like, damn, bro, it's too good.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think that, let's say, for instance, if we took fantasy out of one of our favorite genres, it would feel very close, like neck and neck, because they have two very different purposes in the way the shows are delivered. So that's why, like, Apothecary Diaries, like, it's so hard to not say it's anime of the year because it's a quality for the genre it is. I don't think I could find one genre that's specifically about like this detective kind of work or this investigative kind of side of it that is this. It's hard to find something like this. I absolutely agree with that. There's a reason why it has 87 on AniList, even though I feel like AniList just be fucking wrong. Like they just be wrong. And I guess they'd be wrong about different things. I guess the people who like 79% for Ninja Kamui, I think that's down from 84 when it first like episode 1. So I think they're starting to understand like that episode 2 was also terrible for them. So maybe it'll start to even out better as it goes on and become more and more terrible, like I predict. I mean, the first episode wasn't a B though, still, if we being real.
If you're going off of what you saw, yeah, it could be a B. The action wise, like, I mean, animation wise, like, it looks beautiful.
Okay, yeah, because we're giving the sound design a 10. We're giving the anime action a 10.
Sure.
The characters are getting
a 7, probably.
6, yeah. It's like pacing. We don't know anything yet, so it's like a 7. We're gonna give it an average, and then let's say what plot.
There's nothing. There was nothing there. I mean, his family died. It's a revenge tale. We know that, but the revenge told is cheaper by the dozen. So
if we being generous, that's a 5 or a 6.
Right.
If we being generous, so that's like a C.
You're right. You probably right. Moving on to something who doesn't seem to have a problem with plot, and that's Solo Leveling.
Man,
shout out to, like I said, to Go D Dre, aka Dre the GOAT, who said that it feels like they was missing something. I can see that because it took a couple of steps forward, in particular this episode, but I still feel like it worked. Because I think the conversation with Jin Hu, I think his name is, the conversation with him was a lot shorter, quicker. Which I'm okay with, right? Like that part of Solo Leveling is still coming later, obviously, because we know what's coming later. But I think him doing the double training and getting that key and going right into it was special.
Yeah.
But to get to the meat and potatoes of it, the fight was fucking incredible.
It was incredible. Way
more intense than I remember reading.
It was, obviously, but for me, like the best part is the accomplishment afterward, because we know that he got the elixir formula that he gets to treat his mom, and the thing is that pretty soon after this, the fights for him they're gonna be hard in a sense of like they're gonna be very flashy and dramatic. But it's almost about to get easy from here.
No, because we know what fight is coming up next, and that's why I was going to say when we first started talking about it was, I think this episode is the turning point. Mm-hmm. You know, again, we talk about this every season, every show has a turning point within this anime where it just the switches get flipped and everything becomes either smoother or easier or more like it just connects better. And this is essentially the turning point of Solo Leveling, because after this is training arc is the training arc is pretty much concluded, and it's just advancement from here with some of the greatest fucking shit you will ever see, I think, personally. So I'm looking forward to it, but the fight itself though, Telle, what do you think about him just getting fucking mollywopped? Such a beautiful way.
To me, it's I love him getting beat on. I love him getting beat up.
Awesome.
Because we know it's not gonna last long.
Yeah.
But it's more about like that character development, and it's more about the thought process behind it, right? Mm-hmm. When he fought the spider, it was the thought process there. It was, hey, I fought something tougher than this. I know I did, but I have to push myself. And he pushed himself, and he's fighting, and it's not necessarily that he fought something tougher than this, but he's like, this is a challenge, and I know I've been in tough situations already. I don't have a choice. I came back out of it, and it's like, I love that. When I was reading it, it felt like the system wasn't giving him a choice. It was like pushed forward. You got to do this, and it feels that way here, where it's like he's in a situation. He has a stone where he's like, I can get away from this, and it's like, nah, bro, ain't no teleporting out of this fight. It's gonna be an L or a W. You pick one. Ain't no draws, and it's like
unintentionally too.
Yeah, and it's like the way it comes or it turns out in the end is like Jin Woo is gonna be that dude by the time it's over, and I feel like you didn't have to read that to know it.
Yeah, it's again, man, more character growth than we deserve. Beautifully well done character growth, and again, it's all done via mostly inner monologue, which again, the sound quality for the inner monologues are beautiful. Like the way it echoes in the back of your brain, if you have some good headphones or whatever, or good speakers, the way it echoes in the back of your brain like it is your internal monologue is so special. But I digress. I think watching him struggle through the beginning is more impressive. Now, what I do wish though is I do wish this came a little bit sooner, because we only got a few episodes left, right? Obviously there's another season coming, but you have to, let me put this in perspective for everybody else. You have to understand, Solo Leveling is being recorded or animated twice. Recorded and animated twice. Let me explain. Okay. They got a version of the global version, which has it being based in Seoul and it being with the Korean names and etc. They also have to reanimate some things, and then redub it again in Japanese, because of the history between Korea and Japan. They don't really get along that well. So for the Japanese version, they literally have Japanese names, and it takes place in Tokyo, and it's using yen instead of the Korean dollar. Like it's they have to redo a lot of structure. So they're basically doing 24 episodes, and hence why we getting 12 for this first season. So I just wanted to make that clear. That's part of the reason why it's happening like this, and why it took so long essentially to get done and come out. But with that being said, I am still in awe about how good it's moving, like the pacing of it in general, because with that being said, like it could have it could have took a turn for the worse, but it's still going in a pace where it's still giving us every bit of information. Even the stuff that they're leaving out isn't as vital or doesn't hurt as bad to the overarching story. And the way they're following the manga, it still feels good.
Yeah. And I agree, because I do feel like something was slightly off, but it still hit, like you said, it hit every checkpoint it needed. Mm-hmm. And that's what matters the most. The checkpoints are what push the story forward. 100%. So it definitely hit all the checkpoints, in my opinion. It got some action in there. It got the story going. Solo leveling don't miss, man.
Don't. It hasn't. What I'm looking forward to, though, is that next episode. Because that next episode is either going to be the older brother, or it's going to be a rise for the first time. That's all I'm going to say there.
That's what I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a rise.
Yeah. Because it is a rise before the older brother, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
100%. So that's what it probably was going to be, which is going to be fucking dope. Because, I mean, that fight itself is going to be dope.
Yeah.
And, dude, I got a feeling I know exactly how it's going to end with the cliffhanger, too. It's going to end with the words arise, and then I think that's how it's going to end. Because the whole episode got to be the fight, right?
You know we got to see his boy, though, in the red armor.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's the fight.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'm so...
Yeah, that's the arise fight. So it's going to be nuts, man. I'm looking forward to. I can't wait. All right, moving on. Last but certainly not least.
Not even close to least.
No, 7-time loop, man. Where the fuck did this show come from?
Left field, right field, and then center field.
See, yeah, I'm never using Annie List scores again. I'm marking it today. Christian the Archivist, if you're listening to this point, mark this day. This is the last time that I'm ever going to reference the average score on Annie List, because this shit has a 76. How? I don't know. I don't fucking know. I don't get it. It's pissing me off. But mark this day. I'm never going off the scores again. This is one of the greatest shows this season.
Easily. And
I don't even know where to start with this one, man. All right. First and foremost, right? Mm-hmm. These characters, they're endearing. That's what it is. What a great word to use.
Yes. The characters are indeed endearing. They start off with the idea of like caring about those who are around them in this episode in general. The maids, the constituents, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But Riche and Arnold, they have that spar. They spar.
That's okay. That's a great place to start. That sparring session was fucking crazy because, for one, she looked like she was killing it. Mm-hmm. When you look at from Rice's perspective, it looked like she was killing it. But when you then look at his perspective, he was like, damn, wow, I wasn't even thinking of taking a step. When he mentioned that he only took one step at the end of their sparring session, it's like, yeah, this guy is Timothy for sure.
Yeah, he crazy. and she complimented him too, talking about how beautiful, how he's beautiful. He's a beautiful fighter, but he's also the most powerful, right?
Right.
And still willing to take him on and attempt to do whatever she can. But what she had to she had to make a wager. Mm-hmm. And that's always good, right? Wager is I'll make one. I'll do one of your wishes, or or
you do one of mine, basically.
Right. She loses, obviously, right? Because he all step. Now what proceeds after that, though, fairly cute,
adorable. So I gotta say, what did you actually think about Because what happens after that is basically the whole bed thing, right?
Right.
Their conversation was very interesting to me because it seemed like they're like talking around a lot of shit.
Well, what you mean?
I feel like they're just like, I don't know how to explain it, man. I think they're just like, she's trying to learn about him.
Mm-hmm.
But he knows what she's trying to do. And essentially it's shutting that shit down almost instantly.
So can I say something? And I know I might be entirely wrong. And I don't mind being wrong, as y'all. I don't mind at all. Because he puts on as a character, or he's written as a character that seems to know more than he could possibly know. Seems to be in tuned and attentive to things that are more than he could possibly know.
Like
we know that she has been, this is her 7th time loop. We know that she's done that. Why does it almost feel like he's aware?
Knows too. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that he does, but it's just the fact that he feels like he's aware. If that makes sense, you know what I mean?
Okay, so what I think you're saying is that, and I know what you're saying, but what I think is what's happening is that because of how observant she is, he's like, it's almost like you've done this before.
Right.
That's exactly.
He's aware of that. It's not that he's necessarily been through the time loops, but it feels like he's aware that
of her experience.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Because I don't think he's been through the time loops to know specifically, but he's aware of her experience. And it was something that he sensed in the beginning. And I feel like they keep building on that perception of his.
That's why he said, I'm almost jealous.
And that's what makes him so cool, is because he is so empathetic, but comes off as cold.
Mm-hmm.
He's aware of how people feel. And sometimes he's unaware, but he's aware of how people feel, even though he comes off as cold, uncaring person. He's always been in that motion of taking care of others, which is really dope as a character development piece for him specifically. And
for a reason I think we're going to get the answer to soon. I think it's finally about to start to come to an head on what exactly is going on within this kingdom, which has him moving the way he does, and which later becomes what essentially is 5 years in the future with him fighting all these wars. When they go out on this date that he's taking her on to, what appears to be a date with him, asking for her to have free time during this particular time. So dude, I think you're onto something.
You think it's this next episode where it's gonna be like revelation?
Yeah, 100%. The turning point. I think that's the turning point episode for this particular show.
For sure, I can see that.
Yeah, and the fact that she's training with the Knights now under the guise of some dude is fucking hilarious.
I mean,
like, who doesn't know that she's like not in her room right now? You know what I'm saying?
And she already better than them.
I was thinking that. So I'm looking forward to seeing what that's going to be a lot too. Why is she doing that? That's interesting. I guess she's just curious.
Yeah, I mean, but she has been since she started, and all of her curiosity has gotten her motivation in places that are different.
More experience,
yeah. She did it with the maids and everything like that. So.
Yeah, because I thought that guys was for her to run the store, the nail polish shop, but she did say she was going to use the people from the slums to get the jobs there. So I kind of want that to continue. So my initial gut check is that this next episode is that she's going to actually learn about what his intentions are. Mm-hmm. And I think that was implied with what old boy came and told him, like his helper, I guess, came and told him in the room. So I think it's all going to come together into something bigger, and we're going to figure out why he ended up being what he is in the future 5 years from now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that. But All in all, man,
thwarted that. I was hoping the brothers situation thwarted that future, but we don't specifically know until we get there.
Yeah, so I still don't think it's necessarily okay, maybe I mentioned this, maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think it was the brothers in the first place. I think it was his dad.
You did say that. I was just saying I was hoping that the brother situation thwarted that, but it does feel like it's not completely done. Like there's still more to untie with that.
Right, and I think he's going to tell her in the next episode. You got a gut check for it, or that's where you at? That's it.
That's it. That's where I'm at. There's still more to untie, more to unravel with specifically that situation, so that it doesn't continue to unfold the way that it had for her every 5 years, getting stabbed up in the belly.
100%. Tell, I'm at Polo Born Fly on all social media.
I'm at King Taliano on all social media.
You can follow our social medias at Mic Check Waifu on Twitter and at Mic Check Waifu on TikTok, Instagram, and Threads. And as always, Mic Check.
Boom.
You're now tuned into Mic Check Waifu.